You don't look that good.
Yes, he does. Mike's 50 years old, man.
I know. We had a conversation with Mike the other day that was actually kind of fun. So, okay.
Big old baby face.
All
Willow, where
right.
you been? Oh, sorry, guys. I haven't seen Willow.
Okay. Welcome.
Hi, Willow.
Hi, my darling friend. I've been here, but I've been in the bed watching you because I haven't been able to participate. And then I couldn't get in the back office tonight to get the link. And I practically had to sell my soul to get, I got all these accounts and couldn't get in with any of them. So I think they're upgrading big time. So that's a good thing.
I couldn't either, Willow.
They're working on it. They're working on it.
Yeah,
I couldn't
it's
either.
a good
A lot
thing,
of people
though.
couldn't.
Yeah,
I
nobody
feel
could.
it. Marty, darling, I wanted to say something to you about what you had to say a couple of days ago about all of us, cooling our jets because the good things were coming and we're just damn fools to keep complaining. And I am so much in agreement with you, but it's so hard to be good when you when you get on, you think somebody might know some information, we tried to pull information out of everybody. But I was so proud of you that day that I cried and I had to leave. So I just want you to know you do make an impact, my darling friend.
Willow, thank you very much. Same
I
for
love
me.
you.
Yeah,
I love
too.
you.
I love all of you, really. I mean, you are the wind beneath my. I better stop.
I know.
Yeah.
We
And
love
you're
you too.
John.
Let's not get gooey. No gooey stuff.
Oh, I'm a
Your
gooey.
Dawn
I
is
am.
gonna call me one day with all of her friends, and we're gonna get together about that, our craft thing, because I'm absolutely nuts about that. And that's one of my ideas.
She brought over a Christmas tree today, and I go, "Where did you get that?" She goes, "It's an old book I didn't like, so I folded all the pages into leaves." And I went, "What?" Yeah, I couldn't believe it. She could do any of that.
Amazing.
Crap.
Yes.
Yeah.
We're gonna have fun when this launches by then.
She's making me a doghouse right now. I'm just kidding. I think we're in Oblast. Go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say we can continue this tomorrow, and the Marty and Willow show. We'll let it run for an hour. Let's see what we got here.
We could
That's
talk all
okay.
day, Marty. Couldn't we?
No, you guys. That don't bother me at all. Couple quick words. Number one, I love every one of you. Number two, I'm proud of every one of you. Yes, right now we're having a few little issues. They're working on the back office. Stay patient, stay calm. Like we say, that is a good thing because Ash Mafar right now is doing everything for us. Not him, he's doing it for us. And just be patient. Here's the way I look at it. I've been in the back office for almost 4 weeks straight, literally. I get a break right now because I kind of like it. I don't have to go in the back office because I can't. But just take that big old chill pill, sit back, relax. Let's have some fun on Obless. Remember what I said, let's respect everyone no matter what. I have a very, very wonderful lady you all know. I call her Dr. Masagio. I'm going to hand her the floor. She's got a PowerPoint. I'm going to let her break it all down to you. But I also got some really exciting news today from Joyce Hicks. Kind of blew me away. Actually, my daughter had actually told me like 3 days ago, hey, Joyce called me. I'm thinking, Joyce, the only one I know is Joy. Yeah. And my daughter works a lot. They're getting this little, I'm going to let them talk about it at the end, but it's a powerhouse of women. Willow's included. Joyce is there. Dr. Masagio. I can't remember who the other one were, but they got together and they said, hey, man, let's rock this. And that's what they're doing. So I'm excited to see what's to come of that. So, but let me introduce you right now to Dr. Masagio. She has got a wonderful presentation and the floor is all yours. And when she's done, we'll have some Q&A and some fun. So try to stay muted. Let her do her thing. Doctor, the floor is all yours.
Thank you so much, Chris. I like the way you welcome everybody. You really bring life to us. Thank you for that. And hi, everyone. I would just like to start by thanking our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufara, and also recognizing Joyce here and Willow and the team that we met yesterday. That was such a lovely meeting. was a team of social workers. So I'm happy to be part of that. Yes, I'm just going to share from my heart, but so that you visualize it, I will use PowerPoint. So let me share the screen. This, yeah. I hope I can manage this.
You're fine, doctor. If you need help, just ask us. Well, looks like you're doing perfect right now.
Yes. I just wanted to start by saying, finally, I have hope. Finally, I have hope because of OBLESS. I'm going to share a program that I created when I was very young, at the age of 24, just when I finished my bachelor. Now I'm 50, so you can imagine it's an old program, but it is still working now. So I would like to just share it from my heart because I love it and I feel it has made impact. And I think as I share it, it can give ideas on how best also we can, how we can also approach complex problems around the globe. So the program that I created is called ACK for Children, but the trust is called ACK and MAC Trust. ACK and MAC is a trust that is in Botswana because I come from Botswana. Maybe I should have started by introducing myself fully. I like the way you say my name, Chris. My name is Masego, and as I'm talking to you, I'm sitting in Norway. I'm a teacher of social work in one of the universities here. And I grew up in Botswana, basically, and I did my bachelor there, and I studied also in the UK and did my PhD in Norway, and now I'm a teacher here in Norway. So what I'm going to share is really from my heart. ACK and MAC Trust means to save, ACK. And MAC means to give identity. We have a website if you want to check it out. It's called ackandmac.org. So Botswana is there for you to just visualize. We are in the bottom of Africa. And what I'm going to share, I am sharing because, and I'm saying I have hope because the program that we run has got a lot of needs, regardless of the successes that I may mention. We use tented accommodation, for example, which is good, but has got high maintenance and can be very hot in the summer and pretty cold in the winter. We bounce clean water from the next town where the campsite is or where the place is, because I will explain. We only use temporary electricity with engines, and we do not have permanent electricity. We do not have proper dining halls. We use tents for children to eat. We do not have proper therapy spaces. We use nature, which is good sometimes, but sometimes the weather really works against us. So On Passive and OBLESS is really hope for us. I started this program in 2000. A long time ago. Actually, we started crafting it around 1998 with a philanthropist who invited me to do this with him. And at that time, Botswana was really hard hit by HIV/AIDS. Botswana is a very small country. It is big in size, but we are a small population. At that time, we were just above 1.7 million people. But we were one of the most affected countries with HIV/AIDS. Like we were even once the highest in terms of HIV infections in the world. So you can imagine. So within a short space of time, there were already 167,000 children, a short space of 3 years, who had lost their parents, both their parents. And now, as we speak, there are more and more complex problems that children are facing besides orphan children. So although we started this program for orphans, specifically for orphans, it is now addressing many more complex problems that social workers bring forth. You can see the graph there that shows the infection rate of HIV, it actually shows the number of deaths. In 1998, as you can see, the highest was in 1 year around close to 40,000 deaths in a year. So we call the program or the activity Ark Adventures Wilderness Therapy Program. And again, it's because of the mass orphaning due to HIV/AIDS in Botswana. When children lose their parents in a country that is developing, in a country that is poor, because we were poor at that time, even now Botswana is still poor. It is just amazing that we are classified as high-income country. Well, maybe the country has money, but the people are struggling. So when you lose a parent in a country like that, the safety net actually is affected. Even though it's a country that relies a lot in relations, extended family to support, and so on and so forth, when HIV/AIDS hit, actually, and many people lost their siblings, they lost their own fellow relatives. People started surviving on their own, keeping their own economy for their own families. And they would not want to support children from other extended, other relations. But even though they would take them in, sometimes they would abuse them. So these young people were exposed to abuse of different types, sexual abuse, you name it, emotional abuse, sometimes denied their education. And also they were stigmatized because of the disease itself. While at the same time, they were mourning and facing grief and trauma. They were also at the same time losing property because some relatives would grab their inheritance. And most of all, some of them were really challenged educationally because they wouldn't concentrate. But the issue is when it comes to grief and loss or grief and death, the culture is silent. Sometimes children don't even know that their parents have died because they are not told. Not in a bad way, but because the culture tries to protect them. And some of them were actually had already been infected from their parents because of HIV. So what we did was we combined Western psychological approaches and social work approaches with the traditional ways of strengthening a child. So we basically went to communities and said, we have a problem here. And of course, the communities had admitted, and we said, how do you deal with issues like this when children are challenged? But of course, communities did not know how best to do that. But they could remember, they said, most of them said, in our culture in the olden times, we used to strengthen young people by gathering them together in the wilderness and teaching them manhood and womanhood, educating them on how to take care of each other, how to be productive, how to care for one another, how to support one another in times of challenges, and to make them cohorts who would sustain each other for a long time. And it is true. Such kind of cohorts, I remember my father also participated in such kind of groups in the olden times. We called it initiation schools, and some of the African countries still have such. Some villages also in Botswana, like one called Muchudi, they still practice that. It is a culture that really was strong at some point in such a way that, for example, University of Botswana is built through those cohorts. They would unite together and contribute to develop the country and their communities. So they said, that is the only way we know. So help us, and maybe you can take that approach. So we thought that was a beautiful approach. So we managed to get a piece of land, and through support of some philanthropists from America, we managed to set up a small campsite like that. And also we got some contribution from Botswana to do this. We tested this program in 5 villages from the start because we are just a non-governmental organization, a charity organization. And it worked. It made impact. We did not do any research evaluation on it. but there was some observational impact that children who have gone through this program were managing to succeed, and we were also supporting them, having home visits and giving some workshops to their caregivers, and therefore there was change in their life and strengthening them, reuniting them together with their families who were rejecting them. So we decided to combine, we call this wilderness therapy a rite of passage, just like initiation is a rite of passage. So what we do is we gather young people of the same age, and normally it is those that are in grade 7. We gather them together, and these will be children who have lost their parents often. And they camp in the wilderness for a period of 2 weeks. And we also use rites of affirmation as they go through the program. I'll explain that later. The Western psychological approaches that we adapted, which work very well with the culture, are group therapy because of initiation, as I talked about that. Botswana, people like working together. And we also use psychodrama, that is you demonstrate or you communicate the pain in your life through drama, the real pain. And we also use art therapy, we use music therapy, we use individual focus therapy. So when we take children away into the wilderness, we call that the separation, because we want them to take time to reflect alone as a cohort in the wilderness. And when they are in the wilderness, we believe they are going through a phase of transition where they are sharing from the heart their experiences, their traumatic experiences, and they also support one another in a very empathic way. And they also make resolutions together on what can we do. And sometimes there's not much they can do in terms of challenges that they face, but they can be there for one another. And then we take them back home and we call that the re-aggregation. When they get back home, the community is ready for them, the chief, the people around who are aware of the program, the caregivers who have led them or given them permission to go and attend the program are waiting for them and they welcome them. And these young people would give feedback to the community to say, this is what we learned and we are ready to protect each other. And then the community would support them throughout the 3 years when we are following them up. So this is the campsite. As you can see, it's a very rustic campsite. There is not much there, but children have got tents to sleep in and small beds and mattresses to use as well. So we love being there. As you can see, by the campsite, we have a riverbed. It's dry most of the time of the year and has got lots of shades. Botswana is very hot and sunny. So this picture shows children just distributed themselves around the riverbed and they're doing their artwork, expressing their trauma through art. This is just one example of, I got permission from children to show this. We actually have a book chapter on this as well that we published, and they allowed us to use their drawings. So this young person actually had lost their mom and their dad and only relied on their uncle. And here, I could not understand until I talked to this child. Here's a drawing of an uncle who was supporting them after the parents had passed, but now he had hung himself on this tree. Now, when I met this child, he was always wearing a polo neck, a t-shirt that goes up to the neck here. In very hot weather, like 40 degrees, he would still be wearing that. But now when I sat down with him to go through the art therapy workbook, he said, he took off he lowered the neck of the polo neck and said, can't you see? I also attempted suicide on the same tree. And the writing here is in Setswana, but he says, my uncle held my life in his hands. And when he passed, I also wanted to pass. But people passed around and they were able to rescue him. So he said, I have lost hope. I have nobody else to rely on. So he had nobody else, but the cohort of age mates that were gathered in the wilderness together supported him through. This is just an example. There's one example of a young person who was so traumatized because they believed that their community had bewitched their parents, so they have died. So they always have hallucinations at night about these witches and so on and so forth. So the program really tries to dig deep into the trauma of these young people and help them deal with it. Here are they discussing in small groups. We combine therapy in the wilderness with something more exciting or team building activities. So we've got small ropes and also what we call lower ropes courses, like this one is called The Wall. It's a challenge, they go through it. But as you can see, they are not even really safe because it's an exciting activity. It's a small wall, but they would need helmets. They would need some protective clothes to do this. Some of them are doing it even with their bare shoes. Sometimes we have shoes to give them away, but we are struggling a bit. So we cannot wait for Obless. This one is called the Leopard Crawl. They are just learning to work as a team. So these activities actually, they connect very well with therapy. For example, challenge courses like climbing, rock climbing. It's exposure to a very tough challenge. But at the same time, below the rock there, we have a group of young people supporting the other young person to go up and saying, you can do it. So they do it as fun. They really enjoy it, but we always reflect together and say, what did we learn from this? How does this connect with our trauma? How does this connect with what transpired in the therapy sessions? So half of the day they spend in therapy and half of the day they spend in these activities, team building activities. Like that one is called the Pamper Pole. You go up and then you come down from a very high height. But whenever they come down, they reflect on the experience and connect it with what they learn in therapy sessions. And this helps them. It's like metaphoric symbols that help them remember, I can do it. If I did it, I can do it even in my life. And we use what we call rites of affirmation because we believe that the therapy is very cumulative. Every time something new comes up for the 14 days that they camp, as we use different methods. So we then use what we call rites of affirmation. These are just symbols that they create themselves, and they can say, through this symbol, I'm expressing that I am strong. For example, in this one that you see here, we call it piercing grief. So this happens in the middle of the 14 days, like day number 8, where they would have shared their pain of loss. They would have cried together, empathized together, and supported each other in many ways. And therefore we say, haven't we pierced our grief? Because grief is hard to pierce. So what they do, they go into nature and they find a seed, any hard seed in the wilderness. And then they would use a hot piece of wire to make an opening through that seed. And they would thread it in a thread, as you can see, to be part of the necklace that will make a collection of metaphors for the rise of transformation or rise of affirmation. So here's a young child who is saying, I have pierced the hard shell of my grief. I have passed through the bitter fruit of my loss. In so doing, am I not whole? And then the group will respond, you are whole. I have let go of my pain. I do not know today what the future holds for me. But whatever comes to me, I will face it as the whole person that I am meant to be. And then he would also pose a question and they would motivate him more and more. Here, this one is called self-strengthening, and it happens closer to the end of the 14 days. And they also go in the wilderness and they pick a piece of wood, and normally it's a piece of heartwood. You know, when a tree dies, normally the heart of the wood it doesn't disappear easily. So they would pick pieces of heartwood and they would shine them like this young person is doing that. And they sit together when they do this. And these pieces of heartwood symbolize strength, that when my family died, when relatives and my parents also died, when I am abused, I remain. Even though many disappear, I remain. And then they brush the dirt of this hardwood, and they talk together as they do this activity. Then they shine them, put them through gloss and shine the piece of hardwood and thread it also through the thread to be part of the necklace. And they will also say some expressions, each one of them before the group about that. At the end of the 14 days, they graduate and each one of them gets a t-shirt. So they wear a uniform to show that we are one and we want to support each other. You may think it is strange, but they wear berets as a symbol of protection for life, that they are ready to protect their life. So it's a special hat that is worn by police and defense forces around the globe. So for them, it's a symbol of, I can protect my life. So it's not a fancy hat. They will keep it in their own little wardrobes or their bags when they get back home, but they will always remember it. We have had many reports from these young people giving us feedback when they're back in the villages to say, when I feel troubled, I hold onto the symbols in my necklace. I check on my beret and I know that I am strong. And the night before they leave, they sit together in the dark and they form a big circle, depending on how many they are. And each one of them will light a piece of candle and give a message to the group to say, I was in the dark, I had no hope, I didn't know what to do, but you have helped me to find my path. And I promise to also shine and support each and every one of you here, so they become a unity. So these are just symbols that if you enact, they remain for long in your mind, and you can keep remembering, even if a social worker is not there, or even if a teacher is not there. And it also reminds you that you have a support system. You can report to the next person and say, can you help me? Can we go to the social worker together? I am in trouble. So after they return back in the village, we do 3 years of follow-up with these young people. We meet them in their cohorts, and we also do follow-ups in their individual families. We also conduct caregivers workshops where we give feedback on what transpired in the wilderness. And normally that's when caregivers also reflect to say, really, is this what they are experiencing? Because, as I said, the culture is silent about death and grief. We also support them in their education in terms of having activities in schools, and the whole community, actually, in all these communities where the program is run, they support these young people. Before I get there, I would say we started as small as that in 5 villages in Botswana because we didn't have much money. But when the government of Botswana noticed that it is making impact in the lives of children, even without research, because they were really transforming, the government decided to spend money on us training their social workers. So the trust is small, but we train many social workers in the country on how to run this program. And so we have replicated ourselves, and that helps a lot. When I got to Norway, I carried this with me. And I started an organization in Norway called Norway for Botswana, with several of my Botswana fellows from here, and also some Norwegian people also joined us. But we tried to raise funds and we are not really succeeding. So I'm going to show you a video of one of the fundraisings we tried with GoFundMe, which did not succeed at all. And therefore, this is why we cannot wait for OBLESS. At the time when we were looking for funding through GoFundMe, there were storms in Botswana, wind storms actually, that took away 50 of the tents and just teared them apart. And fortunately, young people were not there, or children were not camping, so nobody died, nobody was injured. But then it means the little homes that they use when they come to the campsite were destroyed. So we made this. I will try to share the video. I hope it works. My son showed me how to before he slept today. So let me do this. I'm told that I can do a new share and then go to here and share, and then make it bigger. And I will share the sound. I hope you can see it. Just let me know. So we're campaigning through GoFundMe to help build the. Oh, sorry. I think I have to stop share. And I will talk to you and say, my only hope now is on OBLESS, because through that GoFundMe, we only raised, you don't want to hear the figure. We only raised $500 US, $500 US. So 5,000 krona. And we hope that through OBLESS, we can raise millions, because there's so much need in the country. Thank you.
Well, everybody, please. That was one of the best presentations I've seen so far, Doc. I'm going to call you just Doctor, because I'm never going to get that name perfect. Masago, I like Masagio, but I probably said it wrong, but absolutely loved your presentation. I got my first question. Okay. Everything that I see to my knowledge, you have almost perfected this. Now, I'm going to ask you a hypothetical question, Doctor. What if I said I can get you $100 million to that facility? I want you to explain to me what $100 million could do for that facility. Just top of your head thinking.
Yes, I don't even have to think because I know it can do so much. One day here in OBLESS, I saw a presentation. I can't remember the names, but they were presenting 3 buildings and so on and so forth. I wish we could do that, use 3D, and we could build cabins for young people, because we would like to make it as rustic as possible, but to have permanent, semi-permanent buildings like cabins would really help. And it can also fit so many young people in there. So we would build a lot of cabins in the campsite. We would furnish the campsite with beds. We would have a number of dining halls. Maybe you saw in the video about, we started with 30 children camping at a time. Now we have over 200 camping at a time. And we have like 5 groups camping throughout the year. And we also have social workers coming there to camp and to be trained. And so accommodation is used for many, many other groups. So we would do that. We would have running water. It's a 10-hectare piece of land. So we'd have running water, we'd have electricity. And you know what we would do? We would establish more campsites for therapy like that. But these young people do not only need therapy. When they get back home, they are going back to the same situation where they have no food. Maybe some of them even have no shelter, and some of them live in child-headed households. Imagine a 13-year-old child being the oldest in the house and taking care of their siblings because the families have rejected them. So we would build houses for them even back in their communities. We would mobilize other professionals to support us as much as possible. So maybe that's a lot of money, but I think that will be my start. Well, and my hope is that it's not only Botswana, many African countries have been affected. We have made presentations and conferences about this project, and people say we need this also in our country. So we will replicate ourselves into other regions in Africa through that 100 million. Thank you.
Now, the reason I said that, Doctor, is because right now you really have that set up very professional, built from scratch, I believe, from the young ones on up, teaching them as they get older. And when I say, what would you do if I can get you $100 million? It's 1 million people, one time giving you $100. That's $100 million. That's how easy it is. Now, if the world would look how we're looking at this right now, all right, there is so much wealth out there. This is stuff that Ash talks about all the time. There is so much wealth out there that a lot of this, in your situation with the AIDS and all that, I get that was one of those things that came in and just totally destructed many people's lives or villages or homes, families. But that's how easy money will be able to gain. Like, I'm going to use the example. Let's say, hypothetically, that we're each making, let's just say $100,000 a year from Impassive. Now, I'm being hypothetical with the numbers. And you found out that you could donate $100 a year to Doctors Cause and turn around and help the future of the world, because that's what it is. They already laid down the foundation for what they're doing. I can only imagine what $100 million, the doctors, she's talking, we're going to build some cabins. She's got a lot more in that head. I know when she gets with Joyce and Willow and the other ladies and the other social workers, $100 million, you could probably build an entire world with everything good in it. So what I'm saying, how easy access this is. That's 1 million people that donate $100. That's the power of Impassive, folks. Ash Mafar, and I'm only going to talk for a couple minutes because there's a lot of hands here and I want to hear everyone. Ash Mafar, the last couple of weeks, has brought up Obless quite a few times. And he had said something that I touched on in the beginning because I knew what he was going for, to start connecting with the people that already do this, the foundations, the Red Cross, every charitable organization, getting them all to come together with Obless. Okay. And I thought, okay, that's great. I love it. And let's expand on it. Let's remember when I first started, we were going to build a city. And we were going to make this city perfect because we all came from different countries, different areas, different cultures, and the things that we can do to improve that city, to improve the world. This is why I love this little platform, our little platform that we call a bless that we do once a week. All right. Because you're hearing stories that you never probably would have heard before. I never probably would have heard of Dr. Masag. Oh, God, I'm going to call her because I love her to death. MK, Mrs. Dr. MK, I'm calling you.
Marcelo, yes.
Masago, I'm going to get it right one of these days.
Yeah.
But I never would have met you. I've never known what that problem was or the issue that we're over there. I hear things, but I don't see it. This is what I wanted you all to see. I wanted you to understand that it's not just me, myself, and I, your world. Your problems, most of your problems right now are nothing compared to a young child who lives over there or anywhere else in the world that lost their parents to disease or a bad storm. Maybe some of you already lived that life. All right. Some of you have lived that life. And that's why I believe God brought you here to this company called Impassive, because your wings, you always had your wings, but now they're expanding. They're getting bigger and bigger because you guys now, in this 44 millionth Obless show that I forgot to say in the beginning, are realizing what individuals, human beings, not, we'll say government officials, regular human beings can do for their communities all over the world, not just one, all over the world. And what the doctor's showing us is one. And what a quick donation of $100 can create. Now, we already know what the doctor's doing. We already know what the Red Cross does and all the other. Can you imagine the force, the power, and I say power in a good way, of what we can actually accomplish? Well, I don't have to worry about, higher ups, we'll say. I don't like using the other word. We shouldn't have to say, oh, well, I want to come in with these 116 people and we want to go completely crazy and help the doctor out and build this up bigger than what it is, get more people to help build these cabins. We know we have a company that could build structures like you wouldn't believe, pretty cheap. We know we got a company that can do 3D. I don't need to go get permission. This is how I think from, hey, I'm coming into your country. I'm here to help out because there's a beautiful doctor in here who wants to help your people live strong, excited, life, build things up for your country. I never understood why we need permission to help people. All right. Now I'm not this big rule follower, as most of you know. I'm not going to bust into a country and say, get out of my way. I'm going to build some cabins. I'm going to get these kids some food. I wish I could. There are rules we're going to have to follow, but it's up to us to let these, we'll say governments, we'll say countries say, listen, why do I need your permission to help these people out? I have individuals that are willing to come in here and to put money down to build structures, to get fresh food, to teach them how to grow food. Why would governments turn us down? That's up to us, guys, gals. All right, I'm going to stop talking. Doctor, I'm going to open this floor up to the hands in the air, and I'm going to let you run it. I'm not going to say another word. All right. Engineer Mike, please unmute yourself.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, leaders. I am the only guy here with all the women. So to be a gentleman, I'll let them go and I go the last. Thank you.
All right, Michael, very nice being a gentleman. Jean, it looks like you were the first woman. Go right ahead.
Wow, that's so gracious, Engineer Mike. Thank you. Well, I was kind of hoping that somebody was going to go with something about the existing plans that Dr. Is it Katisi? Katisi has put in place, but I want to take a different tact and say, if you are already using art therapy, music therapy, so I'm assuming that you have people coming in and working with the children with those therapies that may have training in those areas, because if the children, I mean, obviously the what I'm thinking of is monetization of two ways. If the children are creating art, so not the raw trauma-based art, that's very private, right? But if they're already creating art and it's part of what they're doing in their healing process, that art could be made available to the public to bring fees in, and that they could be sold and sent through the mail, or they could be sold digitally or whatnot. So that was one thought. It's a way for the kids to also feel great about themselves. They're presenting their art and people all around the world are purchasing it. I know I would want to, because they're beautiful. What the few things that we saw, painful, but I'm talking skill level, the artistic skill level. And the other thought was that if there's music therapy, perhaps the children could come together and write a song together, a song of affirmation, and then that song could be made available as like a download or put on YouTube. And you know what I mean? I'm just trying to think of ways that the children can use their creative outlets. If they're already doing that as part of their healing process, that there could be a way to bring in a little extra money before the big money of Oh Bless gets going. So it was just some thoughts that I had.
Thank you so much, Gina. Do I say it correctly? Thank you so much for that idea, because some of them really need sustenance when they get back home. However, we connect them to other services, of course, because the government slowly, even though it's slow, but they try to support them with food and accommodation and other things, but it's just still so minimal. So we have never thought of that, actually, Gina. So that can be really great, because some of them produce really good art, like you could see in one of the pictures. Even though it's painful, it just shows some skill to a very good level. And yes, we have, I am not trained in everything. For example, I'm not trained in music therapy, but music therapy we just introduced 3 years ago through a colleague of mine here who is a clinical psychologist and traveled with me to Botswana to train the social workers. So they have started to do that. So, and an idea like that would work, producing a song, of toughness and unity, and I don't know however they would like to produce it, but that could make money for them in Spotify or something.
And be an anthem of their healing journey that would uplift them, and then they play a part in creating it, and then you have a musician on the side that's helping them to put it together and then make it available to the rest of the world, for a nominal fee, but then again times millions of people, that money can really add up. And obviously this is not as critical as getting them food and shelter. So that's why I was hoping some other people would go first, and this would be sort of a supplemental way to get funds going before, like say Ocademy and Oh Bless and all of these other tools and On Passive will just start to bring in funds in a bigger way. So this is, and I just think that children would feel empowered by that somebody valued their art, someone valued their creative input. I know that means a lot to me personally. So it's just another way that they could be a part, like if the things were, say the artwork was being sold and you had a sort of an infrastructure there to mail them through the mail, they could play a part, almost like a business. They could be the ones, taking their art, putting it in the envelope. You know what I mean? Like it could be part of an activity for them.
And that could be accommodated in the 3-year follow-up support activities, because they do have activities, but we have not thought of that, of more fundraising activities. That's very empowering. Thank you.
Look at Gene, again, comes out of nowhere. And you know what, Gene, it is important. I disagree with you. Yeah, some things, food and water is important, but obviously what you said sparked something in the doctor's head there, because she got real excited about it. So I appreciate that, Gene. You guys get in contact with each other, get your swap information, man. You guys are, I'm going to call you the powerful, the new powerful ladies. You guys are just coming on strong. All right. Speaking of a powerful lady, a dancing machine queen, Marcianne. Please unmute yourself. Thank you, Jean.
Thank you, Chris. And Dr. Masego Katisi, what an emotional presentation. And, you know, this is one of my passion. And for those that they know, I have talked about the children living with HIV and AIDS. And I said I was going to do something for those children. And the reason I said that day, I think it was one of the shows that we usually had. This was my thing. It's one of the diseases that nobody want to talk about it. We all talk about cancer, about other stuff, but we forgot that this is a silent killing in our community and the generation of children that they are building our community. Children that they did not deserve nothing to have that disease they were born with. Nobody care about them. Dear sister, we have a program that we started it after Ebola, and today we are based in 5 countries in Africa. I'm going to connect to you because I want you to help me run the same program in those 5 countries. Because when Ebola started, children lose their parents. And we were so emotional. We have nothing, but we wanted to help those kids. We didn't know them. We started on our own, going out in different countries. We started from Sierra Leone. I'm not from Sierra Leone. We were flying over there and getting young girls, taking them and sending back to the training, helping them. Later on, we went to Zimbabwe, we went to Zambia, we went to Nigeria, and this year we finally got to my own country, which is Cameroon. It happened this year, and we get the authorization to do that. So this is the program that I was always thinking about how I am going to do this. And I'm going to tell you the story under it another time, and you will see why I really want to do this. I was crying. It was just touching me from the bottom of my heart because I know that nobody wants to talk about this, and people are dying silently. Family are rejected children. People are running away. They are hanging themselves because they don't know who to talk to. And you finally brought it up. And I am so glad and so happy that the program is there and you are doing so good already, believe me. And that platform that you put in Norway, we are going. I personally, I will get in touch with you. And believe me, by next year, you will be based in so many other countries. I will get you if you have to do anything on my power to get connected to the United Nations, because our project today is with the United Nations. We are recognized. With the United Way, we are recognized. We started it just like nothing, and today we are going very, very fast. And actually on this 18th of November this year, we are going to have a big fundraising gala in the Houston, Texas, which I am going to send you our website. You will see what we do. Sister, that's all I can say. I am so happy that you somebody finally think about those children living with HIV and AIDS, and we can openly talk about it without having any kind of shame, because it's a disease that nobody talk about. It's a shameful disease according to people, but those children did not do nothing to get born with that disease, and they are going to grow up and be human. And we want them to be themselves. We want them to know that they are value. We want them to know that they are just human and they can act and they can live and they can have their life running, and nobody will tell them otherwise. Thank you so much. I am so happy I did not miss this function today. I am very happy. I will get your contact and I will be with you. Thank you.
Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. And that's what we are facing. You know, we are even facing overlapping pandemics, HIV/AIDS, now COVID. COVID has killed so many people in African countries, including Botswana as well. So you'll find these young people are actually losing a second generation of parents, those that had taken them in. They're losing more even. So it's just it's a painful story, but we can do it. So thank you, Marciana. I hope we can exchange contacts and continue talking.
Yep, if you ladies would like, Doctor, send them to me, or you can put them in your private chat on this chat, or send it to me and I'll make sure you guys each get each other's information. Thank you very much. Where'd she go? You hit on me again. Marcianne, you always have some beautiful things to do and help. So I love you for that, Marcianne. Thank you. Okay, we have the queen of impassive, Dr. Benny. Please unmute yourself, young lady with that beautiful smile.
Whoa. Thank you, Brother Chris, for giving me this opportunity. I want to greet each and everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to each and everyone all over the globe. Outstanding presentation, Dr. Masengo. Masengo, right?
Yes, I think Gina made it easy by saying Katisi. My surname seems to be easier. Katisi.
Katisi. I believe, first of all, I respect you for what you are doing. The PowerPoint presentation, I love it. Now, looking at the children, how they're working together, building a team, it is so amazing. If I may ask, we know that Africans are good in having large families. So what is the main reason of Botswana low population? By the way, I noticed that in 2021, the population, I think is 2,385,895. In 2022, you have 2.630. It's really, really low, right? So I'm just trying to find out, despite the fact that Africans, they like children, they love having children. So why is it that, what is the main reason that your country, even though it's our country, right, has low population?
Yeah, should I answer that? I don't have the whole answer, but we have always been small, basically. And then, of course, after HIV, many people dying, it also affected the number of people there. I remember we have lots of motivation from government to have children, actually. Like in Norway, Norway also has got a lower population, and the minister is always saying, have more kids, have more kids. So actually during HIV/AIDS scourge, when it was really called a scourge, there were articles that Botswana will disappear because of so many people dying. But thank God to ARV drugs that really helped people to have more life or longer life. Yeah, otherwise, besides that, HIV/AIDS and now COVID-19 has affected the population to some extent. We have just always been small, but it's been reducing. I mean, a number of children to a family has been reducing over and over the years. For example, we are 9 in my family, 9 siblings, but we are an old family. I'm the oldest, I'm the youngest, sorry. I'm the youngest, for example. But now I have 2 kids and my siblings have 2 kids each, you know, so it keeps reducing like that. But otherwise, maybe we have not been like many other African countries producing more. I don't have an answer otherwise.
No problem. Anyway, I noticed that because of the HIV, these children will really need serious counseling. Hopefully, because of All Bless, when the time comes, I will, because I have a master's in counseling as well, I will be there with those children, and when the time comes, we can work together so I can communicate. I will make them happy. Anyway, thank you.
Thanks very much, Dr. Benny. we'll always need additional professionals. So thank you for that.
There you go, Dr. Benny. Thank you very much for those, your thoughts, your kindness. Always appreciate that. Look at that, Doctor. We got staff coming your way now. Look at that. All right, thank you
Really
again.
appreciate that.
Yeah, there's a lot. Listen, I told people from the beginning that this group will get smaller and smaller as we go along. Now tonight the back office was shut down, but I know the real people are here. Someone asked me tonight, Chris, what do you think is really going to happen with the angels when we launch? And I said, you want to know the honest truth, my honest opinion? Yeah, a lot of them are going to go run and enjoy their lives. And some of them are going to really, really be those angels that they've always wanted to be. All right. And you people are here right now. But just keep that in mind. So Ash, what does he say? Help one person a day. I'm not asking you to change your entire world to help another world. I'm asking you just to help one person out. And 1 million people help out one person a day. That's 1 million people a day. And we can make a lot of changes, just like you're doing right now, Doctor. Okay, Helena. Is it did I say the right Helena or Helen? Helene?
It's Helen.
Oh, I should have just said Helen.
Don't worry about the E at the end. It's Helen.
I'm taking that E off after you leave.
In French, it's Hélène. That's, yeah. Good evening, Chris Johnson. Good evening. Good to see you. Good evening, everybody. It's always good to see you all and hear a lot of good things. Thank you, Dr. Katisi Masango. That was a wonderful presentation. It brought me tears in my eyes. I've always had a soft spot for children. I've worked with children, but I didn't work particularly with those of AIDS descent. It's always hurting to find children left on their own and not knowing what direction to take. If it hurts as a mother, it hurts. So I've worked with them. I've worked with underprivileged kids, with Save the Children. We have Save the Children here. I think we can get close to Save the Children to help us with these children again in Africa, because of crisis and other political influence. The Save the Children offices closed in many countries in Africa. So these children have been left unattended, left to us Africans who don't have the means. So I have a question, Doctor. That is a wonderful program that you have. You train the children, or you take them out for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, and they go back home. I think that is not enough. So the follow-up, some children might come out of the trauma faster than the others. What happens to those who don't grasp and are still grieving and still lost? Do you have a program to follow up those particular ones?
Yes, maybe you missed that one. I shared that we have a 3-year follow-up support with them. So we follow them up for 3 years. They need a lot of intervention, actually. It's not only just learning to express themselves and sharing with the rest of the cohort in the wilderness, but grief is so complex in a country like this because it comes with poverty, with grabbing of property, it comes with abuse, it comes with challenges in education. So it's very complex. So in the 3 years, when you follow them up, we connect with different other services to refer them to.
Okay.
But again, this is a developing country, so it's not really much. But the fact that we are there, the fact that they meet so often, together as cohorts, and that schools are aware of this program and teachers sometimes call them and address them. People are aware that they are there and they need support. And also caregivers, when we conduct caregivers workshops, we call them therapeutic workshops, because they are also grieving and they may be passing the pain to these young people, and therefore abusing them because of their frustrations and so on and so forth. So they also get some skills on how to deal with their own traumatic experiences and how to support the children. So at the end of it all, the family we make impact on families as well. And normally these children will have younger siblings. And because we run the program every year from each community, younger ones will always look up to say, I am next, I'm the one going to therapy the next year. So there is that continuity, and the fact that now the government of Botswana replicated through social workers, then we have these trained social workers all over the country who are there for these young people. And again, it's not perfect.
Yeah,
it's not perfect, but we do the best we can.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
shared a video link. Somebody asked if I can share a video link. So
okay. I would love to connect with you because I've worked with children. Yeah, my second question is, these things you have not gone deep enough on a wide scale because, as we know, financing is always a problem. So now that we're going to have enough money, what is your what do you have in mind to make it better?
Yeah, maybe I can just add to what I shared earlier as Chris asked the same question. But I have seen these young people transform. I meet them at the age of 13, and I've seen some of them being challenged educationally because of the trauma, getting E's and D's at school. But I have several examples of them, one of them being even ended up being a medical doctor. One of them is an engineer, some of them are teachers, all because trauma can cloud your mind and your emotions, and you cannot concentrate at school. Yeah. But after they learned to deal with their trauma, then they were able to focus as we walk them throughout the years. So I've seen that make impact. But so some of them are able to then work and establish families and so on and so forth. But others still have challenges. So I really like on passive. So I'm looking forward to helping many of these young people, especially the now generation and those that I've seen in 2000, to go back to them and help them be resellers in on passive. Actually, that would be more empowering, I think. But also to connect to fellow social workers like we are doing with Joyce, to try to say, what can we do together as a Bloom? And I'm happy that some of you are coming up to say, connect with me. I'm in another African country. We can do more together. Because it's not an easy program to run. I want to tell you. When I was young, when I was like 26, there were so many of these young people, and sometimes we would be two social workers doing this, and story after story after story, painful stories. I ended up not being able to cry. I had to go for therapy to learn how to cry.
Oh boy.
Yes, because I was always closing in my tears for their support so that I am stronger for them. One session after the other and after the other. So that really made me suppress my emotions. So I had to go for therapy myself. So it is not just an easy program, even though we can roll it out globally. We need to be careful on how to handle it. We also need to have more skills supporting it, which is very rare in our countries. Yeah, to have professional skills. Sorry, I went on and on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. That's a lot of enlightenment. My last question is, you have a very rich curriculum for this program. I love it. Is that your field of studies, or it was just a gift from God to come up with these things on how to help the children?
Yeah, I'm a social worker. I'm a trained social worker, and I've done therapy for children, also specialized in that in my master's program.
Mhm.
And then I have a PhD in health promotion. So the three educations helped me to keep developing this further. So I'm doing it as a professional and training my fellow people back in the country. But I think normally when we choose professions, it's connected to the way we grew up as well. So my family background has influenced me to give a lot.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Guys, I apologize. I got a dog who wants to be fed and taken outside, and it's raining. Hey, I got some news here. I want to stop what we're doing, and I want to bring on Marty DeGarmo. He has an update for us. So, Marty, if you could please unmute yourself, please. Thank you, Helen. That was wonderful questions.
You're welcome.
Yes, beautiful. I love children too. As you know, we're raising our grandchildren. They're the most valuable resource we have, correct? Anyway, yeah, I was chatting with Ash. They're coming up with a new video from the company that we will be able to use. And there'll be press releases that they're coming up with. They've been in communications with Be In Sports, which is out of Qatar. They have a very good relationship. Things are going very, very well. So, but he'll have stuff that we can use. It made sense because we were going to Be In Sports to begin with. We just didn't get all the details, and everybody in Unpassive, as we are, we go crazy and start making posters and everything else. So, but they're going to have a guideline of something we can use. It'll be really nice. As far as the site being down, the cloud team, I want to make sure I say that right. I told somebody else said clown, but the cloud team is working on what's going on with the website. He said it'll be fixed very quickly. And other than that, everything is get prepared to live the life of your dreams. That's all I have. Oh, one more thing. One more thing. Hello, Nancy. I see my sister Nancy's here from Papua New Guinea. See her?
I wanted
to I'm talking to. Go ahead. What?
I just want to say, can you repeat that again? My dog was barking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Thank you, Marty. You want to call someone to write that note, and they can put, I'd say put it in the back office, but that ain't gonna do no good right now. All right. Appreciate it, Marty. Guys, you can don't make a poster. Just tell your team, please. Okay. And Nancy, yes, I will get to it. I'm very excited because I haven't heard your beautiful voice in a while, but let me see. Gladys Navarro, I'm always excited. Listen, all my beautiful sisters on here. Gladys, unmute yourself, please.
Thank you so much, Brother Chris. Thank you, Marty. Thank you, everyone, and more especially Dr. Masego. Thank you so much. What you are doing in Botswana is amazing. You keep on saying it's a small project. It's not small because you are touching lives already. And I know you could do it at a very large scale and in several countries, but you have limited resources. But you have used every single thing that you have to give those children a future of hope. So thank you for that. I'm so happy that you are following up on those children, even though, as Sister Helen said, the training is very short. And we know when a child loses a parent, and to make it worse, both parents, life is never the same. And when they get, second generation parents or second set of parents taking care of them or caregivers, some of them do it out of love. Some of them do it out of the need that they are the next people in the family. They have to do it because if they don't, what will the community say? And so really you find there's no that deeper connection between the caregiver and these children. I was filled with tears. I tried to hold my tear. I tried to do so when I'm in public, but it's very hard to imagine that those children are being abused. And that really damages them emotionally, damages them physically, and damages their future. And so I'm happy that you are doing the best that you can, but surely with all blessed, I believe that these children will have much, a more streamlined structure where they can live knowing that they are secure, whereby they go to bed not wondering what they will wake up tomorrow to. And so please continue doing what you are doing. And we want to replicate that. That is not happening only in Botswana. It's happening in many countries around the world. And I would like to take your program to Kenya, because there are children that we are helping, but we don't have such a structured way that you are doing to train them to be resilient, to give them a structure whereby they can relate with their peers. Because at that age, when I looked at them, their peers, their age mates are very special to them. And the worst that you can do is to take that away from them. So I want to really partner with you and make sure that, those children, whichever country we are going to replicate that. I'm glad that you are in Missionaries for Africa. And that's where we have come together from, all the countries of Africa to work together as a team. And I believe that through All Blessed, we can be able to do something to give a future and a hope to those children around Africa. Now my question comes regarding the caregivers. When you encounter that children were living in a certain family and they have been abused or mistreated, because I know in Kenya, the law is not as, in Africa in general, I don't know about Cameroon in specific, but most countries in Africa, the law is not strong and against the people who do such crimes. And sometimes even family members sweep them under the carpet. What do you do in that case when you encounter that children are going through that? Do you move them to another family? What do you do? Or have you been in that situation?
Yeah, many of them, many situations like that. But thank you very much, ladies. And I'm happy that this can be replicated. I've been waiting for this for the rest of my life. So I'm so glad that All Blessed and OnPassive will help us with this. And the beauty about OnPassive is going to impact the whole world in such a way that even selfishness will just fade away from people. Just selfishness, because some of the acts of abuse are just due to selfishness and frustrations. So that's why we say when HIV/AIDS scourge hit, then the safety net of that relation and extended family support, it just fell off. Because then people were losing their economies, their monies, and they were protecting their own, and so on and so forth. But when OnPassive comes in, it will change the world economically. So people will be happier, and less children will be abused, honestly speaking. We have seen extreme cases where that, like right now, they are camping with a 4-year-old. A 4-year-old having been sexually abused. It's a group of young people who have been sexually abused, only 30 of them. And one of them is 4 years. And they are camping with them together with their parents on the other side. The camp is divided into 2 parts. So they have therapy for these children, and we have a group of Norwegians who are there working with them. And then they also go back to the parents on the other side of the campsite to also give them therapy. And at some point they will meet. I was shocked to hear that a 4-year-old is also there at the camp. So yes, in terms of the follow-up support, as I said, we connect them with different other services. We cannot do everything. So social workers normally help in that case, ladies, and they refer them to, some have been moved to SOS because of the extreme levels of abuse. And we had unearthed that through the program, connected with the social workers who would then do advocacy and make sure that the case goes through court and they are removed to go to SOS. And some temporary shelters like Childline, yeah,
Okay.
it's a long process, but the system is there. It's a long process. Sometimes it's challenging for social workers because they also multitask, because they have so many clients while they are just one person. Yeah, but the process is there. The law is there to protect the children, but sometimes some of them don't get help because of that. Yes. Yeah, it's very traumatic. Yeah, some children have stories of having their parents die in their hands, and I have seen it also myself in my home visits when I was younger. And now I'm a bit away from the experience, but because I train social workers, there are more and more cases that I just can just shock you, and yeah, very inhumane.
Thank you so much for that answer. And I think that gives us something to work on as founders. How can we change the situation? Because maybe these children totally, they have no lawyers, because even our parents don't have lawyers. And as founders, this is something that we can do. We can maybe start an organization of pro bono lawyers, whereby when these children are victimized, they have somebody who can speak for them without them worrying how they are going to be paid. And regarding what Jean said about these kids putting their talent into practice, maybe, healing through music, if they want to record a song, is something that is doable and it works. Music is therapy in itself. And some children can express through music by writing their own lyrics. All that they need is to be guided, and to be guided how to record. I will encourage that also, and I am willing to work with you. I can, guide you how we can help them, for them to be able to record their own music, prepare them for that, and what to expect, and how to put it on the platforms digitally, so that even if they don't put it immediately, it will help them. It will improve their self-esteem. It will improve their talent. And I pray and hope that your model will have its own school, whereby you will be able to recognize talents. Because back home, we are told you have to go to school, you have to get good grades. But it's time that we start now rewarding those children who have talent, but who are not able to understand, to study books and get A's, but they can excel in what they are good at. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. Yeah. And sometimes some of the tools we introduce is because the children are themselves saying it. Like music is very traditional in Botswana. People just easily start a song. So we realized, like, as you saw them sitting there in the riverbeds, as they do their art, some of them are singing. They are singing, and we kept listening to these songs. And I remember one song that really struck me. This child was singing like, "I'm working in the field alone. I have nobody to help me. I'm working in the field alone." And then I asked him, and he was using this metaphor to say, I am an alone orphan and there's nobody else supporting me. And they were using the field because it's a metaphoric thing in Botswana, or it's a practice in Botswana, that when you have a field, you call neighbors to help you. And he was saying, I'm working in the field, I'm alone. I have nobody to help. So they have such deep-seated messages through song. I agree completely, ladies.
Wow. Listen, I don't know, but hey guys, I would just put your hands down. I think these ladies got this, man. I mean, come on. Before I go on to the next hand, Miss Willow, I do apologize. My little brother Marty would like to give you another update. Marty, please unmute yourself. Go ahead.
I just want to clarify something. I kind of downplayed on how things. The company's in direct communications, with FIFA. Okay, yeah, Ben Sports is involved, but they're in direct contact with FIFA, and everything's going really, really well. And like I said, we'll have a video, and we'll have there'll probably be a news post or something that'll go out that we can use. But when I listened to what I said, I realized I'm kind of downplaying. It's not downplaying. This is big. They're in actual contact with people themselves. Ben is a kind of a pivot point like ESPN is in the United States. But yeah, they're in direct contact with people. I'm sorry I didn't say that earlier, but that's me. Anyway,
Marty.
I'll try not to interrupt again. Yeah.
Oh, you're okay, Marty. I want you to specify that. Please, nobody put anything out there, right?
Yes. If you don't get it from the man himself in the back office, or he says, here, you could use this, please don't. I've seen some of the most beautiful posters, but don't do it. FIFA and these big organizations have ways they want to do stuff. That's all. And we just got to go by what they like and what they don't like. It's not a big deal. But we are teaming up with, as you know, one of the biggest sports events in the world, if not the biggest. So it's important that we do exactly how they like us to do it. But everything, the communications are absolutely great. Ash couldn't be happier. I just wanted to pass that on. I just wasn't the best reporter on the job. You know what I mean? So I tried to make it better. Anyway, I believe this is all I have, unless I get another jolt in my phone saying, Blockhead, I want you to, no, I'm just kidding. But that's what I got. Thank you very much. Very good. What
Say
I'm
the other
hearing.
thing while you're on here. Just give a real quick update on what you said a couple minutes ago to me. Say it real quick.
I can't remember what I said.
Yeah, you
Just
can.
give me an idea real quick.
30 minutes. What's going to be where it was in 30 minutes? Give them. Go.
Oh, they're working on the
O Network.
They found the problem. It had something to do with O Network. Okay. So they're revamping it. It should be done in the next 30 minutes. And we should all be back in there and playing in the playground if I'm passing. I don't know what you guys doing there, but
So,
you know what I mean.
On that note, with the errors that we've had the last couple of days, I'm believing that that's what Ash has been working on, and that should be able to be fixed, that situation.
Everything's been getting better.
Okay.
Listen, when you're working with something this big and that much coding, you do one thing. And remember, if you ever saw coding, a little dash could wipe out a whole part of a web page. I mean, a little triangle could just make it obsolete, not work, not show up. So, but these are the best of the best. They just got to go back and trace it. Remember, anytime they make an adjustment, they copy what they have first. They make the adjustment. If there's a problem, they can go back and trace whatever it is they might have skipped out on by accident. It's not a big deal. This happens everywhere. Thank God we have the best of the best. Anyway, that's it. Yeah, 30 minutes, we should be up and running.
Now, I want you guys to remember, 20 years from this date, you're all going to be telling your grandkids or your kids or your friends about this night as, oh my God, we always went into this panic. There was this one night where we couldn't get into the back office for a couple hours. We were all going crazy, and Marty came on and told us different. 22 years later, as you're sitting in your really nice houses with your really nice cars and your really nice clothes and helping all those people with Dr. Rasagi, Katsi, I'm never going to get that name right. I apologize. But think about it. 20 years from now, that kid knocking on your door and say, hey, what do you do for a living? I'm an impassive founder. And I went through it all, and it really wasn't that bad. I just am a little bit of a worry wart. Okay. Marty, thank you very much.
One more thing. All of you met a true unicorn in your life. Who can say that? Who can say that? That's right. Me too. I'll see you all.
Just don't play. What do we call it, Marty? Don't play the hop game. What is that game called? You always tell me.
Never ever play leapfrog with a unicorn. Yeah.
It doesn't. It never comes out good. Let's put it that way. I lost a couple times already. Okay. Listen, it's 10:45. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hands up. Richard Lemuth will be the last hand for the evening. So because Marty came in with the updates, that's okay. But Willow, please unmute yourself. Go right ahead.
Oh, Dr. Macejo, I am so honored to be in your presence again and to work with you. I think that when I met you, I told you, I said, I saw your presentation before and I was weeping like a baby when I had to leave the webinar. And tonight, it was about the same thing. And I would not begin to tell you how to make changes to your program. However, I'm working on similar things with Native Americans, especially at Cheyenne River Reservation, where the deprivation and the poverty is like a river that flows over the young ones. And the abuse and the alcoholism and all of that, all of the things that you deal with. And I am so interested in knowing all of your techniques because I think they're going to be applied across the world. However, I have one suggestion, if you would allow me. I nominate and I take care of, through an agency, 4 young kids in Peru. And they're my babies. They let me adopt them. On paper, of course, you know. And I contribute through St. Joseph's organization for each one of the children. And they can contact me and we can talk back and forth. They can let me know when they're in dire need of things, you know, and if I can supply it, I do so. Would it be possible in your country to make a video of the aspirations of each one of your children and have, say, listen, you can adopt the future of this young man or this young girl and help them become productive citizens in the world and rise up out of the abuse. It's not like you're putting the kids out there to ridicule. You can do it in a really, really professional way where people like to know who they're helping. A group they will help. I found this out the hard way, Dr. Macejo, and I don't know, Macejo, I don't know. I know with myself, I'm very reticent to donate money to some agencies now because of the abuse throughout the agency. But with the group that I've got, it's a Catholic organization. And I thought, well, I was pretty safe, you know, with going with the priest in Peru. And I was and have been. And I saw 2 of my children complete their education. And they're back in the system helping others. And so it was so rewarding to me over the years to see the progress of 4 little kids that had been thrown away like garbage become, you know, much more. So in the future, when you are thinking about how you're going to help them after they go home, you know, we might start a program of some sort that would apply not only to like our people here in the United States that are dealing with poverty, like we spoke of, and abuse and ignorance, that we could develop a program where people can individually help people and become a part of their lives. I really think one-on-one connection. If you can't, I can't travel, Macejo, over to see you. I can see your pictures and they absolutely affect me, you know, emotionally. However, I want to see the kids' faces. I want to see if I can buy t-shirts and tennis shoes and if I can give them $50 for something that they want. This organization that I worked with doesn't encourage us to give them extra money, but I do it anyway because I want to, you know, and they haven't kicked me off yet after 30 years. But I think that maybe more visibility, if people can see the beautiful faces of those children that are enduring such hardship, it's going to boost your way of producing help for them. And in the long run, that's what we're all about, is helping those that are in such terrible straits. So I'm going to keep this short because I get real cheery and I say, oh, we'll talk next week. We're going to have a meeting anyway. But I just am so impressed with you, my darling. I'm so impressed with you, not because of what you do, but because I see your spirit. You know, when people ask you, why do you do those things? There are about 17% of us in the world that can't help ourselves. We're super sensitive people that cannot turn our backs on those that are hungry or needy or dependent or mentally ill or sick. We just can't. We don't know how. And you're one of those. And how much you should be proud of that, because that's what the future is going to be. Those of us that care for others. So thank you very much for listening to me, all of you. I'm so happy to see all your faces, and Nancy's here. I want to get off because I want to hear Nancy.
Thank you so much, Willow.
She's wonderful. Thank you, Maceo. You know I'm already your fan.
Yes.
We'll talk
Doctor,
again.
That really touched my
Doctor,
heart. Thank you so much.
Doctor, before you answer my beautiful sister, I have an update. I'm actually talking to Ash Mafara right now, because if you look at my brother Marty, he's not paying attention. So he's seen I was paying attention. I'm going to read this. He said I can read this to you. So hold on, ladies. I do apologize. We will continue this here as soon as I tell you this. I want to say it right. Brother Chris, you can share this. Love when he starts out that way. Today I had a meeting with one of the traffic vendors. We have been in touch lately. It's one of my old connections. They looked at Impassive, so I asked, what do you offer us today? Their answer was, we are ready to join forces with you in Impassive. Woo-hoo, if you don't know what that means home run grand slam, okay? Would you like to buy us? They said. Would you like to buy us out is what they said. They have 120 employees. And Ash said some things I'm not going to repeat, but he has some thinking he has to do. He also asked me, he's typing me right now. So 3 o'clock, Marty, you're fired. 3 o'clock. Let's see, Thursday at 3 o'clock. Company update instead of, okay. At 3 o'clock Thursday, we are going to have a corporate webinar with Ash Mafara, and he's still typing. Instead of selling us traffic, what he was saying, seeking us as the company. So now, if that doesn't make any sense to you, you remember when Ash said that you can never fail as a founder, doesn't matter who you are, what your status is. What he just said right there, and he's still typing. He's still typing right now. Listen, you're not going to sleep tonight. I don't want you to sleep tonight. I want you to understand, we're all worried for the last couple hours because we can't get in the back office. What's this guy doing? He's working for you and me and nonstop, and he's still texting. The hunted, not the hunter. Throwing that one in there. One of the sayings he loves the best. Company update: instead of selling us traffic, seeking us the company, selling us the hunted, not the hunter. You got to wait till Thursday for more. All right. I'm not giving any more away. This is enough. I put a little sugar on your spoon, Marty, because Marty was probably trying to get his headset working. So Marty, Thanks for letting me do that, even though I don't think you knew I was doing it. He's typing again, but I want to, let me finish him. Okay, what I'm saying is we asked him to sell us traffic. They said, why don't you buy the company? You get it? That's pretty big. They're asking us to buy them, put them in, because they see how big we are now. All right, this is what we don't see as founders. This is what Ash Mafara and his engineers and his lawyers are looking at, talking to these people. We don't ever see that. Probably because we'd all drop with a heart attack every day, like, oh my God. All right.
Chris, 3 o'clock Thursday?
3 o'clock Thursday.
All right, I'll go set that up.
Okay. Because my condition was we must be exclusive. And that's what Ash was telling him. Let me repeat that again. What I'm saying is we asked him to sell us traffic. They said, why don't you buy the company? Because they see how big we are now. Because my condition was we must be exclusive. You understand that? Listen, I try to get Ash to come on here and say it. Because honestly, I get more excited when it comes right out of his mouth, but this is just exciting for me. So I think he's listening on here. Thanks, Ash. I think you got 116 very happy individuals right now, me being one of them, and we appreciate it. All right, you go back, you go get some sleep. I'm going to go back and finish this up because I have some amazing, oh, he's typing again. Amazing ladies. I got Willow just asked him, oh, he's watching us on YouTube. So everyone say, hi, Ash. Unmute yourself. Say hi, Ash. Thank you for that great info.
Hi, Ash. Thank you.
Hi, Ash.
Great info, Ash.
Thank you to win it.
You need to win it, Ash.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Ash.
Oh, it never ends. My God.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ash. We'll be dancing all night.
We're gonna be awake again. Oh my God.
Oh, Ash, go!
You never stop, Ash.
Fire!
Yeah,
Oh,
Richard.
Hey, see you later,
Thank you,
everybody.
Ash. Okay.
Chris, can I just stop now before Nancy?
Okay.
No, no way.
Thank you, Ash.
He's still typing.
No, engineer.
Thank you so much, Ash. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
We love
thank you,
you.
thank
We'll
you,
be
thank you.
dancing all
Oh,
night.
Lord.
Love you, Ash.
Go sleeping. Love you, Ash.
Love you, Ash.
Oh,
We can
Lord.
all.
Can you just
Thank
want
you,
to
thank
see
you, thank you.
What?
want to see his face, Chris?
Thank
Karina.
Karina.
Hi,
Saying,
Karina.
oh, now you're all
Sorry.
waking up. He's saying, now.
Oh yeah, we want to see his face. Can we see his face?
No, he's
Yes.
texting me. He's just
Can we
texting
see
me right now.
Ash's face?
No, no face. Listen.
I don't like Karina.
Man,
He's getting some sleep.
Let him get some sleep.
Karina.
What did you do?
Sleeping bear.
Hey,
They
Roy
wanna
Davies.
see you, Ash. They want
Ash
to see you.
doesn't sleep.
No,
Ash
Natalie.
is always
Sorry,
walking.
I'm talking to.
Hey, Chris.
I heard my name. What about?
You're on screen.
What, Marty?
Oh,
You're right.
I
You're
don't
right.
have it on the screen.
You're on the screen right now.
Hello,
girlfriend.
Corina. That's why
Okay.
they call you, because they
Marty,
want
go
to see your
ahead.
smile.
Okay.
Marty,
Thank
what'd
you.
you say?
Smile,
I
Corina.
said, you're right. He fired me.
He fired.
Love you guys.
He did. Well, you guys, listen to me. Let's finish this. I think he's done typing. You all said hi. He appreciates it. He said, what did you do to me? He put the fire on there. He said, finally, you guys woke up. I think you've been woken up, but now you're really awake. So I'm going to continue the order of the ladies, Michael. You're going last. Ash is listening. He loves you. So Willow, I apologize because everything you said to the doctor was awesome. I was trying to read Ash texting me. So if you have anything you want to answer to Willow, you go right ahead and then we'll go on with the hands.
Yeah, I'll be quick, but thank you so much, Willow. That really touched my heart. And for the idea that you put forth as well, I wrote on SMS here to say, we just need to be very strategic, because I remember that some NGOs in Botswana were shut down because they were doing the same thing that you are suggesting, and maybe kind of the same thing. But then they were exploiting kids in terms of sending pictures of their suffering and suffering parents and dying parents, and you know, trying to get empathy from the Western world. So that was termed as abuse, and so that kind of strategy was terminated
so
for some
sad.
time. Yeah,
So
and
sad.
only left for SOS, because SOS has got a global way of doing it.
Yeah.
So I like what you said. We will have to learn on how to do it in a clean way.
Yes.
And because that makes us one family. So thank you
I'm
so
here
much.
if you ever need me.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I got you in my prayers, child.
Oh, that
You
touched my heart.
guys, listen, you ladies. I'm really seeing a huge webinar come out of you girls. Would love to see it. I don't want no part of it. You don't need any help, girls. You got this, and I'm very proud of all of you for even getting it going. So, all right, thank you, Willow. Thank you, Doctor. Let's listen. I haven't heard my beautiful sister in a while. Nancy from Papua New Guinea. I know she's running with the Lord now, and she's helping out the best she can in God's eyes and vision through Papua New Guinea. Nancy, oh my goodness, unmute yourself, sweetie. Great to see you. Great to see you.
Thank you, Chris. It's been a while. I was trying to go back, getting some studies in counseling, Christian counseling as well. So I'm really excited this afternoon here in PNG, listening to Doctor. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. Really moved my heart, because when I was 10 years old, I saw a dream that I was holding onto a fruit. It's like peanuts in my hands, and I saw children from Africa coming, and they was grabbing this thing out of my hand. And I was in my dream, I saw that I was feeding them, and then I was ministering to them, and I was preaching the word of God. That was when I was 10, then I was 17, and then I was 19. The same dream. And by the time I was 19, I said, man, I have to go. And so I went as far as North Africa only. I have not been to other parts of Africa, but only as far as North Africa. And this afternoon, I just want to say to us that when children or young adults or young kids, they're being traumatized by the upbringing, or by a situation, or by a cause that they did not choose. You know, it was not by choice. They never choose this kind of life, but they happen to be in that kind of life. And when I was hearing everyone was talking, this idea, this thought came into my mind that we have a company. I think it was in 2000, it was last year, 2021, when I was listening to little Omar Mufara, little Mr. Mufara, not the senior, the junior. And he was telling his father that we shouldn't just create orphanage. We shouldn't just go and clothe them. We must give them a technology that they have to free themselves. We have to create something to sustain them in their future. We cannot just create orphanages or just create a school even for them to go to get an education, but they must be able to create something. We must provide something. And as I was listening, his thoughts and what Omar said back then came so fresh to me. And I want to share this with us. We have a company with a technology that I was listening as well to Gladys, and Gladys was talking about how to put their, arts and music and teach them and school them into how they could bring out their arts and their music into the world. Now, listen, guys, we have Academy. That's the platform. You see, when young people are being traumatized in the local environment, in their local villages, in the local setting, the mindset is not being shifted. Even though they can come up with creativity inside, deep inside their mindset, they see trauma, they see hurt, They know they have the potential. They know they can come out and become something, but the environment, the people in the environment, the kind of mindset that has kept them in bondage, that has brought hurt and trauma to them, will keep on reminding them. And as I was listening, I see how Ocademy will bring these kids out when we connect them to a worldwide space, when they get connected on OConnect and talk with children and professors and professional people from all around the globe. You know what's going to happen to these kids? They will forget their trauma. They will know there's a bigger world out there. You know, these kids, like Doctor was saying, they were sitting by the river and singing their songs and saying, I'm here in the field, I'm working, and I lift up my head and there's no one here. Listen, that's why we here as founders, we're so grateful that OnPassive created technology to bring these people who are bound in a certain environment, has a certain kind of mindset, can now tap into technology, connect with people who have received healing and freedom, breakthroughs in their lives, and especially in the mindset. You see, if the mind is not healed, the heart cannot be healed. Because it's easy for the heart to be healed and the mind is not changed. People will go back to the past. They will always draw from where they come. They will be shut down. Their minds will be closed down. You know, that's why I am so grateful, and I want to share this with Doctor, that see this way. Not only few ladies here. Thank God for the ladies. The ladies have the heart. They have the passion. That's why you see a lot of women, even in Papua New Guinea. We don't have a lot of men. We have a lot of ladies, women. We have the heart, right? We have given birth. We feel the pain. We go through hardships and the struggles. And we are here in this show right now, the All Blessed. Who cares who's not here? Me, I just made up my mind. This company will do it. I don't care. He's here, she's here, she's not here. Who cares? Who cares? If 2 or 3, we gather together, we locked horns with Mr. Ash, and we have this passion, and we need to bring this word out and get technology to places that can redeem and free people and bring breakthrough that will completely change their life. Come on, it's not time to look back. Who is here, who is not here, who's coming, who's not coming. Just forget about them. Stay fixed on their vision. Doctor, I want to encourage you. Focus on your vision. Stay true to it. Don't give up. There's so many people. There is no accident. It's no coincidence. You are here today. You are sharing, because those of us here, we will be the ones that are going to bring the change. And we will not, you know, I'm in PNG. Now there's so many things about this COVID protocol, and you have to do this and do that and to travel. Thank God for OnPassive, for Mr. Ash Mufara, for technology. That is going to bring so much more. I tell you, when we begin to put these young people or these children in Botswana, connect them there and get them online to do schooling online in whatever field, Mr. Ash has said that professionals, the best, will be on our platform. So don't you think the best of counselors, the best of musicians, the best of anything that you wish and I was dreaming of, that will be on that platform to minister to these kids, to help them, to empower them, to bring them out. We have not seen everything, but let me encourage all of us, and especially Doctor, I thank you so much for what you are doing, and all these other beautiful ladies. We are seeing this thing is coming to pass. It is going to be possible. 5 of us can do it. Hello. I said 5 of us can do it. We can change Africa. I was 10 years old and I've got this burning passion for Africa. I want to be there. It's different from Papua New Guinea. Papua New Guinea, we own the land. We are so rich. We've got everything. We are so blessed. The poverty here is not matched in Africa. And I tell you, only 5 ladies here with our powerful brother, Chris, and our powerful mentor, my big brother, the godfather of OnPassive Nation, PNG, Mr. Marty Digamo, if he was here, is here, and Mr. Ash. That's enough, full stop. This is enough. Mr. Ash said this. You don't need many positions, founder position. One position is enough to change the world. Come on, we don't have one position. We have like hundreds and thousands of positions. Now 5 of us can change the world. So I want to say this. This is another idea I want to put in there. I want to throw in there is the reseller. Don't forget this. When we discuss about all these things and situations, come on, let's always get back to our vision and to our products and what it can do, right? Money is another thing. Money is a side income. But when you look at the products itself, we're going to set up all these kids for life with OnPassive. Put them on a reseller position. And that's it. It takes care of them. It gives them the leverage in life. It upgrades their vision. It puts them on the right track. They're dreaming bigger. Now they don't have to worry about the handouts that's going to come out from your organization, but you're literally empowering them to have a source of income for life that now they together with you can change your nation. So I want to bring this idea in. Don't forget this part. Include everybody on resellers position. That's the solution. That's the long-term solution. You know, we can build their houses. We can give them food. We can do whatever. But if you put financial power back to somebody who's struggling, I tell you, they'll beat us. They'll be better than us. And that is what we want to see. That's the mind of the CEO. He wants to see somebody becoming better than him. If he can give you back the power to have money, power to have seen your vision come to pass, there you go, bingo, done deal. We are the hunter. We will be hunted. Whatever you say, it's not a done deal. Let me remind us this afternoon on Perseverance and Founders. Sorry, I've not talked for too long. Let me get it a little bit more. Let me tell us, it's not a done deal. It is done. OnPassive is done. That's why everything is coming out now, because in the background, behind the scene, when you are worrying, people are working. When you are complaining, people are sacrificing their time, their wisdom, their mindset. Come on, everyone, let's all pick ourselves together, stay focused to the vision. That's why, sorry, I sometimes don't come to webinars because of Forget it. Mr. Hess said, before Mr. Hess said, it is going to be a done deal. Now, no done deal. It is done. Yes and amen. In PNG, we used to say this. If somebody tells me something good, I will respond to this person and say, just talk about other things. It's done. So welcome to the real world. It's done. Thank you, doctor. And thank you, my powerful brother, Chris. Love you all and good to see you, wonderful faces. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Thank you. And our powerful CEO, woo, we cannot sleep tonight. I don't know what's going to happen, people. Anyway, sorry, Chris, back to you. Thank you, powerful brother.
Wait, before you answer that, Doctor, Nancy is just a firecracker to me. We texted me again, but he said he also made some chat, some on the YouTube, but he said, if I can just fly to PNG right now and hug Nancy, totally blown away, total respect. What an incredible leader. She's ready to conquer the world. Wow. This was from Ash Nancy to you. I couldn't listen. I hate to tell you this, Ash. I knew this 2 years ago. Nancy, we love you. Thank you for coming on here and absolutely missed that. He's trying to type again, but I think you left him speechless. You blew him away. I think right now he's dancing around his little chair in his office going, holy cow, who is this Nancy? He knows exactly who you are, Nancy. And for you to represent PNG, how lucky are they? God bless you, and I love you, girl.
Yeah, it's very true. And thank you for the motivation, Nancy. The only way is the OnPassive way. So we will do the reseller positions to many of these young people. Thank you for the motivation.
Woo. Man, I'm too old for this, man. Okay, I'm going to go on to the last lady, and then I'll go to the three gents. Miss Jennifer Dixon, please unmute yourself. And Nancy, thanks for getting my blood pumping again, girl. I appreciate you.
Wow, Nancy, that was awesome. I don't know how I'm going to follow that excitement. But anyway, I'll try my best. Good evening, everyone. I just was listening to everybody talk about the AIDS scourge in Africa and how the families were reacting to all the orphans. And I remember back in the 80s when AIDS first started coming out and people were dying and everybody was like terrified. They didn't know how it was spreading. They were scared to touch people who had AIDS. It was just like so much fear and so much hatred going on in the world. And I honestly thought that now in this day and age that people were educated enough to not hold that fear or that hatred. But this topic is particularly timely because the other day I overheard a couple people talking and I was quite shocked at how uneducated and frankly how ignorant their comments were about somebody that they knew that had AIDS. And I was just like really, really shocked to hear that in North America. So I guess my point here is I'm hoping that as founders and on Passive in general, we could educate people around the world with some of these issues that people are still so uneducated about. And, you know, and I think Nancy hit it right on the head that on Passive, we'll be able to solve these problems and help these kids that are suffering with the abuse and ignorance that's going on all around the world with just people who are not learning or refusing to learn or refusing to, I don't know, I guess educate themselves on every situation that's going on in the world. So that's really all I wanted to say. And to thank the doctor for all her hard work there. And I think that's just awesome that she's helping those kids because they really need it. So that's really all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer. You know, the problem with these viruses is that because HIV is a virus as well, is that they have a long-term consequences. So even right now, as we talk, HIV infections have gone down, the deaths have gone down, but we are still battling with the consequences from 1997. And now COVID has come in to increase the deaths. So it's just challenge after challenge after challenge. Yeah, and truly we need to be educated, as we said, because then we will handle these challenges pretty well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
thanks
I
for
was
that.
just shocked at the comments. So that's why I just kind of, when I got on this webinar tonight and this was the conversation, I was just like, wow. So I just glad I popped on tonight, even though, yeah, thank you.
Thank you, that was motivating, thanks.
Thank you, Jennifer. Hey, guys, I mean, ladies, I really want you to connect all together, man. I could feel some real powerful webinars, ideas, helping people coming out of you ladies. Always knew it, just was waiting for it to happen. And I had no part of it. You guys all came together. That's what I love about it, because we were talking. That's it. All right. I'm down to Larry, Curly, and Mo. I'm kidding, guys. I won't tell you what. Now, because Mike is such a gentleman, I'm making him last. I'm going to let Richard go first, then Bruce, then Engineer Mike, and then we will say good night. So, Mr. Richard Lamotte, please unmute yourself. Lamont, sorry, buddy. You know me, I'm terrible at names.
I love all you beautiful men, women, and children of the world from the bottom of my heart. Kisses and hugs to all of you. Well, I got some bad news for you, Dr. Masigo. I saw your property over there and I found some room for what my dream is. Since the beginning, I've been saying that I've been seeing children's dancing in the streets. Yeah. And food and gardens and animals. From what I can see, you got the room for a hospital. You've got the room for a nice school that Academy can run. There's no reason why those children should go back to abuse. None whatsoever. With Oh Bless, I am sure that we can pretty well fix this problem by building a nice big school, nice big houses, like 3D can build small houses at hardly any, almost no cost. It's unbelievable, really, the technology. So what I have to say to you, Dr. Masigo, is let's not send those children back into that abuse and everything. Let's give them what they need, the pride in themselves. Let's give them the education that they need. From what I can see, there's going to be universities in our academy. There's going to be doctors in our academy. It's going to be unbelievable. Ashmul Farah and his heart full of love has figured that one out. And I'm sure that there wouldn't be any problem having the internet in there so that academy can work 100 miles an hour. We can drill some wells. We can put in solar or whatever that is environmentally friendly for electricity. I'm sure that the people of this world and the big, beautiful family of OnPassive, full of love, would all throw themselves in there to do this. And we can do this not only for you, Dr. Masigo, but for all the other places that are in need of the same thing. All we have to do is know where and when, and we will do it. I have over 30 founders position, and 30 of them are going to go just to Obless. So my heart says, I love you, and I love everybody, and big kisses and big hugs to all of you. And thank you for being here, Dr. Masigo.
Oh, we love you too, Richard. Thank you so much. Yes, OnPassive is really a problem solver in many, many ways. You know, these young people, they need families. That's why we try to make change within the families, because family is very important. But through OnPassive, temporary shelters will be many while we fix families so that they can go back to their families, because that's the most important thing as well, to have grandmother and uncle who is functional and is not abusive and is more loving and more encouraging and more. So to address the problem of one child, you are actually addressing the problem of the whole community. And OnPassive will make it easy, digitally, with its digital platforms, with its so much money, and making just everybody happy. So thank you so much, Richard.
Yes, by giving them resellers position to the grandfathers and the grandmothers, they will have the income so that those children do have a future and not being abused. But those that don't have these families, we will make their own little city right in there.
Yeah, very true. Thank you so much. 30 positions going to Oblast. What a heart. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Richard. Always the kind soul words you have there, brother. Thank you. Okay, let's do Mr. Bruce Gerstein. Please unmute yourself, my brother.
Thank you, Chris. Hello, Mr. Sister Katishi, right? Katishi. You're my sister. Nobody ever calls you sister here, but you're my sister, and I'm also your friend. And all these words that you see are also your friend, and they're also your family. And that's an amazing thing to have a family like this. You know, I'm blown away by everything you've shown us. What you've shown us, though, is every need that is in every part of Africa. Whether you're in Cameroon, whether you're in Kenya, whether you're in Mozambique, it doesn't matter. All these problems are still there. But you know what? We live in the world of OnPassive, where everything is possible. Everything. So I heard some people talking about the big projects. If you look at Ashmul Farah, and God bless us, he is the wings, our wings, and he carries us all the way through. The thing for us is we spread our wings so we can fly, right? So I want you to know, I've been in recovery for 41 years, and I've been diagnosed with HIV since 1987. And I used to hear about fighting this disease. And I realized there's no point in fighting this thing. Peace has never gotten through war. Peace has gotten through love. Peace has gotten through understanding. So, but what I started was I remember one thing about it, being an addict and being someone with HIV. There's big stigmas in both of them. And depending on the country, if you lose your job because you're an addict, you'll never get another job. And in both cases, whether you're an addict, whether you're HIV or you're an orphan, the one thing that goes on in your mind is, what's wrong with me? What did I do wrong? And it's till you fulfill yourself with worthlessness. And one of the wonderful things you have is you have your rope course in your presentation. And the rope course is about personal development, believing in yourself, and learning how to love yourself. We did a thing when I was in a thing with a woman named Louise Hay, many people know her, and she healed herself from cancer. But she had a song for us. In the words, I won't sing it, went, I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. I'll always be the perfect me. There's nothing to rearrange. I'm beautiful, I'm capable of being the best me I am. And I love myself just the way I am. And it's a beautiful sing-song, sing thing. And you can't help but smile when you sing that. And maybe I'll send you the song in verse one day. I happen to my WhatsApp, I left you. But what's really important is to remember that in this world, no matter how far down you've gone, everything is possible. Marty talks about the diamonds in the rough. And for sure, you are the diamond in the rough that we found tonight. And I feel very blessed and honored to be here with you. I know that all things are possible. I looked at the dried out lake, and they were painting. And I'm sure they were happy. And I have a lot of pictures from Africa. And everywhere I went, the children were always happy because they had each other. And what's important in this world, what's important here, is that we have each other and we treat each other with love and respect and compassion and understanding. When we do those things, no matter who you are, I don't care how much money you have. I've met multi-millionaires who kill themselves because they didn't like themselves. But what we do here, we build up and we rebuild and we restore. The word program is also restoration of the human spirit. And that's what your program is too. It's the restoration of children. And somewhere along the line, people will be negative around them or get into the environment, and those things will happen. And that will be their journey. But if they follow through it all and they believe in themselves, as we believe in Ambassador, everything will turn out to be very possible in this world. And thank God for you doing what you're doing. And I'll help as much as I can, because I know what it's like to work from desperation, wanting to die, being afraid to die, living in the living hell of addiction, living in the hell of people not wanting to touch me, not wanting to go near me, talking about me behind my back, laughing about me, all those things happen. But I've carried through, and I love myself today, you know. I know that I love when Ash talks about that we're perfect. And I love when he talks about us being miracles, because we all are. So I love Nancy, because Nancy, that's just power in her words, such determination. And I may be quiet, but I have the same determination and conviction to make this world a better place. And always remember to walk in kindness and compassion, understanding and love. So I'm such an honored person to be here, and I'm passive. And I love all you guys. And I'll tell you that there's nothing you can do about it. If you got my love, take it or leave it. You got it anyway. Namaste. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bruce, and for the motivation as well. And yes, OnPassive will give us wings to fly, and we will give the young people wings to fly as well. And what motivating identity messages that you brought up. Yeah, I love myself just as I am. So these are messages we will pass on to the kids even, because identity is very important. That's why we call them ACT and MACT. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Doctor. Okay, well, looks like we got 2 more hands up. No more hands, guys, please. I'm gonna let Miss Joyce Hicks because she is a lady. And I'll let the other 2 guys go after. Joyce, please unmute yourself. Nice to see you, young lady.
Thank you, Chris. Sorry about that. But I just wanted to jump on and tell Dr. Macejo that talking to you Monday was awesome. And that was just, I learned so much from you. But tonight, it's just like you blew me away. And I am just so proud of you and just so respect you so much. And I just thank you so much for sharing and for just giving to us and just your heart. You said it's a small project, but this is a huge project that you have taken on and you're doing great things. So I'm so blessed to be working with you. I just look forward to the things that we're going to do. And I won't get into what we talked about, but just we're looking for more social workers. And I just want to say thank you to Polly, to Willow, to Susan Hodges, and to Dr. Macejo for joining us on Monday. And also Marcianne, Gladys, and Amanda Johnson also said that they will be joining us as well. So we will, we're really excited about what's going to happen, and we'll talk about that at a later time. But thank you so much, Chris, and thank you so much, Dr. Macejo. Love you and appreciate you and really respect you for everything.
Oh, I love you back, sister. And thank you for organizing. So yes, we will meet and talk more. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Woo-hoo-hoo, Joycey. Thanks for coming on, Joyce. You know I wouldn't have shut you down. All right, Robert, you're next, and then Mike. Boy, Mike, you better have something good to say. That's all I got to say, my brother. All right, Robert, go ahead, unmute yourself, please.
Hi, everyone. That was a great presentation to see you. I'm sorry for I haven't been on in a while. I've been hacked a number of times on my computer. I ended up getting a new computer. My house has been broken into a lot of times already, and missing accounts. But even got into my bank account, wiped some of that money out I had. I'll be talking to the bank tomorrow very seriously about a few things. But anyways, I just want to say thanks for the great evening. It was a great evening tonight with the webinar, and I missed everybody. And I'm sorry, it was just so hectic around here. It's crazy, and I missed everything. That's all I gotta say, really. But yeah, I'm sorry. It's just been. I saw Bruce and Square out here twice, so I kind of wondered if I had problem with a hacker with it getting onto me again, or do you see it on your guys' end, or?
Yeah, that's normal for Bruce. Bruce runs the camera and then one mechanism for his voice, so he's good. You're good, Robert. Hey, man,
okay.
Send some prayers your way for some security and some strength, brother. We're always there for you. You never have to apologize. You know I love you, man. I know where you're at.
Yeah, I love you too, man. I love everybody. God bless us all. Thanks.
Thank you. And thank you for the motivating messages. You've been sending messages. Thank you so much, Robert.
I love it for all you do, everybody. Thank you.
Love you back.
Love you too.
Feel the love. I love it. All right. Last but not least, before Mike talks, I want to say thank you to the people, and then we're going to let Mike end this. I want to thank the guy behind the scenes called Daryl Cook, who is writing notes for us every single time. And he does this. He just does it. I don't ask him. He just does it. I love him for it. Thank you, all the co-hosts, which is Brucey Gerstein, John Barilla, Marty DeGarmo, Nadu, Narelle Warcon. Thank you for the people that helped me advertise this. Lynn Nakamoto, Kevin Rutledge, Pam Turner, and whoever else I missed that helped out with Narelle helping out, sending out those links to the other side of the world with those bad crocodiles that'll eat you. And I really want to thank Dr. Macejo, if I said that right. I think you are an angel sent from heaven. Number one, you are a very perfect, profound speaker. Very good. I'm not sure. I think you were born that way. I don't think anyone is that good that could teach you to speak. You are awesome. Absolutely loved your presentation. I'm going to be there by your side, shoulder to shoulder, whatever you need when we launch this company. And you heard the little exciting news, what we're coming up to. So I'm going to love that part. And Doc, I can't thank you enough for coming on here and showing nothing but class, professionalism. You were amazing. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the future in a lot of things that I think is going to happen. So on that note, let me give it back to Mike, and then I'm going to give Dr. Masagio the closing statements. Engineer Mike, the floor is yours, brother.
Good evening, all our leaders. Thank you very much. I was so fired up when my CN came up. Gina Lever, Dr. Benny, Willow, Jennifer Dickinson, Joyce Hicks now, and Bruce, and Richard. Thank you very much, everybody, for this wonderful webinar. Helen Tala as well, not forgetting. My sister Nancy, I call her the Mike Ellis, female Mike Ellis. That's who she is. Thank you very much, everybody. I want to bring it this way, Dr. Masego, thank you for the topic. It's a very big topic, and this is a very big topic that we will need a lot of guidance from our CEO who is listening to us right now. So I want to bring this in another way, infrastructure-wise. Let's look at it this way, like if we have like enough infrastructure for those kids, right? So if we have enough infrastructure for them, we can keep them a little more, even for those 3 years that we have follow up for them. They can be in a confined area that nobody can venture to abuse them again and things like that, right? Or do any harm to them. So my thing is this, we don't have the technology of 3D for now, or companies in Africa that can go build those buildings. We always look for options, okay? I'm working with a lot of options I have like some companies that I'm looking forward to build the gigantic metallic fast train roads in Africa. So I found some of them. We have a company that have 23 offices in Africa, okay? So with the help of the team, Chris Johnson and some other leaders, we will sit someday and we talk about it and we bring that to the attention of our CEO. Then he will give us further instructions on what to do when it concerns infrastructure, because these people, we can use them to be building whatever infrastructure that we want. For the fast train road, that's what the company I will use. So if we use them there, we use them in PNG as well. We use them all other way because they have 23 offices in Africa, okay? So I'm still doing the groundwork. Then when it is right time, our CEO will give us a directive on where to go to. So if we have those infrastructure there, we can keep those people, these kids, a little bit longer for the 3 years that you say for follow up. Then when they are going out completely, they'll be more safer in that environment. That is all I have for you, Dr. Masego. And we will work with the directive of our CEO, and I'll work with Chris Johnson, Big Bro, to make that happen. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, Michael. That was worth it. Hey, 2 more thanks. I do want to thank Nancy from Papua New Guinea coming on here and firing us up. I want to thank all the people that spoke. You powerful ladies, gentlemen, let me tell you what, you better shine those shoes a little more because these ladies just knocked us all down. Look at that big head. Ladies, I'm very excited for you. I also want to thank Ash Mafara through Marty, through my phone that come on and gave us some updates. Don't forget, I believe the link's already posted in the back office for Thursday. And what he told us, don't forget it. All right. Don't put nothing out with, you know what I'm talking about. FIFA. Don't say nothing. Don't put nothing out. Wait till Ash gets it all done and then we'll have some fun with it. And Dr. Masagi, I'm giving you the rest. It's yours. You can say the goodbyes. I love you with all my heart. You're amazing. Go ahead. It's all yours, young lady.
Yes, thank you so much. I don't know where to start, but I would like to start with our CEO, Ash Mufara. He's positively contagious. I think we should say that. Even though we have started our projects here and there, he is just firing us up. We cannot wait. We cannot wait to go out there and help the world. So thank you so much, Mr. Ash. And I would like to thank all of you, and especially you, Chris, for organizing this, and everybody else who commented and motivated me and want to partner with me. I wish we just could do it now. There is so much need in the world. And it's also important, like Mike is talking about, cooperating with us, that we are different skills here. Some are engineers, some are social workers, some are psychologists. When we bring our brains together, as Engineer Mohammed always says, there will be fire, fire, fire. So let's unite, go on, and preach on this contagious influence from our CEO. And then the world will win and the children will be impacted. Thank you so much.
Woo, round of applause, guys. Give this beautiful young lady a round of applause. And I know you guys are going to help out a lot when we get this company going. It's not too far away. Good night. I love you tonight. In about less than 20 minutes, Rob Lynn's going to be on. Willow, I apologize for running a little longer. I think it was worth it. We'll continue tomorrow, unless you're going on for 20 minutes. I don't know, but I know Rob Lynn's going on at midnight for their chatty talk. Go check that out. Tomorrow, 360, I believe, is at 2:00. Not 100% sure. I don't care. When I wake up, I'll figure it out. But be there. It should be fun. Anything else that's going on? Check your back office. You might be able to get into it by now. I love you. Thank you, doctor. God bless every one of you. Say goodbye.
Bye, all. Love you guys. Have
Bye,
a good
everybody.
Bye
Bye.
now. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
See you later.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you.
Love you
Bye.
guys.
John, John.
Good night. Rob Lynn now.
Good night, everybody.